I've got on the phone with me, of course, Vince Falzone. Hi, Vince.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, man, this is working straight from Skype, straight through the system here. We have got you live over there. It's lovely 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, it's actually mind-boggling, because I remember when I did a tour out and went up to Liverpool and came into Heathrow and all that stuff, and now I'm in my recording studio and I pop open an iPad and I see your photo. It just blows me away that we can do this quickly.
It's better than using a phone.
Yeah, because Skype came a long way before. It was kind of like got sick and tired of trying different instant messaging, and then that one worked, and then it was on a PC, and now it's cross-platform. But still got Microsoft in the middle of it.
Oh God, yeah, because you got it on. You can get Skype on your phones now, like I said, on iPad. You can get it on anything.
Yeah, which brings. So I put it on my phone. I didn't want to miss the interview. And what does it do? It grabs my contacts and acts like it doesn't know who I am. So I completely take that off and I go back to the iPad because I don't have any information on here for it to think I'm somebody else.
Well, I got to be honest. This has been a long time coming. This interview. It's been a long time. Yeah. Well, I say interview, chat with you. I mean, God, how long have we known each other now? Going back to MySpace, about a good 6 years.
Yeah, well, just mentioning the word MySpace is scary because. Again, it's all about learning and investing time. That was the thing. I remember the other day I was watching a movie called Kick-Ass, and they were showing how this guy became like a superhero, so to speak, and he was using MySpace to gauge how well he was known. Oh, and I'm thinking, man, that movie is so dated that nobody in their right mind would even bother looking at that.
Oh, that's right.
So it's been a while. I think we started off in 2006. I'd have to say that.
Yeah, of course, Kick-Ass is Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Yeah,
fantastic. And he's a kick-ass actor, too.
Brilliant film. Talking about acting, you got a bit part in, of course, Argo.
I know, and it blows my mind, because when I went out and was filming this stuff for the little piece that I was in, we were at an airport in Ontario, and that was where all the airport scenes were shot for the 4 different checkpoints. But, I'm half Middle Eastern, and I just kind of assumed that who's going to really, really be interested in this time frame? Because I grew up, when Carter was president and the whole debacle with the hostages, and I'm just thinking, why? Who cares? Why is anybody interested in the Middle East? And we got Bin Laden out there that's already stirring the pot. But that's how brilliant Ben Affleck is. He directed it. He was the first out of the day, and I never spoke to him, but I made a point of going into the restroom whenever he went in there because they always separate the background actors from the principal actors from the director of all people. So I would just go in to gauge him out, and it was just amazing. The guy's a lot bigger than I thought he was physically. I have ultimate respect for him, and as soon as I got out of that, the 3 days of shooting or the week of shooting of that's when I shot Dark Wolf. I'm like, let me give this a shot for real. Ben Affleck has inspired me beyond belief. I went in thinking that he's just a pretty boy, and I come out of it going, holy shit, this guy's the real deal, man.
So you ended up, like I said, you bit part in that, and then you went off and did, I've got to say, a big thank you for that one, is the video, or a short video on YouTube for Dark Wolf.
Yeah. And, you shouldn't have to thank me for it if it wasn't for you bringing those lyrics to me. And I think it was because of Overdrive that as you develop as an artist, you realize that there's only so much I can write personally. I have all the emotions and pain and suffering as everyone else that's going through life, but I don't see it the same way. I can express it. And so when you put those lyrics in front of me, that's why I said just keep giving it to me, keep giving me the poems you've written. I could visualize what it was that the Dark Wolf was and is. And then, that's not good enough, though. That's the song. And I got some really kick-ass players to do it, and it was great. But in order to get people's attention, you need to have a video. Now, why is a video a short video? I'll tell you why. Because it's hard to keep people's attention. You're asking people to give up a minute and a half of their time, and that's like pulling teeth, especially in LA. When you perform out here, if you don't light yourself on fire and blow up on stage, nobody even looks at you more than 15 seconds. It's a different kind of mentality, LA versus when I was over in England. And over in your neck of the woods, people actually pay attention. You're willing to watch a 4-minute video. You don't mind. Over here, there's no way. So that's why it's so quick and so to the point.
There's been a lot of nice comments. I got to say, there's been a lot of nice comments on it as well.
On the video?
On the YouTube page. Because, I mean, you got a YouTube page, which is called Vince Falzone YouTube. You can go check out all your videos on there. You're not only, like I said, not only a singer, songwriter, musician. What else do you do?
Well, I'm a father. So
well, yeah, apart from a father. I think
that supersedes everything. I mean, that was the reason why I committed so hard and passionately to music and music only. And I elevate that. It's not music. It's an entertainment. It's a stress relief from your day. It's let's go see where the Dark Wolf is. My kids believe that the Dark Wolf lives behind our house. They still haven't figured out. They haven't figured out that, I mean, it's me. I'm the Dark Wolf. But it's not me. You live the Dark Wolf. So the Dark Wolf is a mythical creature that, my daughter, when I played the video for her, she doesn't want to take the dog out in the back. We live against the Angeles forest.
Oh.
And she swore that she's seen a coyote staring him down.
Oh, God. Well, I got to say, you got a new album coming out, which is you're now doing a pledge for?
Yes.
I know we've got it over here. I mean, there's a lot of bands are doing it. It's pledge music. They donate money towards getting the album produced out. Credit on the album as well. Is that the same thing as what you're doing now?
Yeah, in the States, a buddy of mine that I grew up in high school calls me up and he goes, "Hey Vince, you need to get on Kickstarter." And that's the last thing I need to get involved with, right? I got MySpace and I'm here on Facebook. I'm trying to figure out which one of the two. Then I'm on YouTube, and YouTube gets jacked up by Google, so I'm just sick and tired of accounts being set up and doing this. It's that's not what I'm interested in. So anyway, because he's a buddy of mine, I said, well, I'll do it just to show you something. I'll set it up to show you that it's not going to work, right? This is what I'm thinking. So I set it up, and I asked for $3,500 to finish Vortex, the last record that has Dark Wolf on it and a bunch of other songs. And he's the only guy that contributes $100 towards the goal. And then, so I'm like, see, it didn't work. Time marches on, record's finished. And then I see something on TV over here in the States that says, people-backed investment for a thing called a Pebble.
Right.
And what the Pebble is, have you heard of that?
That's nothing I've heard of. Go on, let's hear about this Pebble.
Yeah, this another contraption, right? So it's a Bluetooth wristwatch that connects to your smartphone. Like we need more shit on our stuff. So,
more stuff, man. That's not what you want, is it?
Well, but the guys set out. They got turned down in Silicon Valley, which is the heart of where everything is over here. You got Google over there. You got Facebook over there. You got Intel over there. You got you name it. They're over there. So you go there money if you're brilliant-minded like this, and they got turned down, but they didn't quit. They just put it up on Kickstarter. They asked for $100,000. You know what they got?
Go on in.
$10 million.
What?
They got 100 times more than what they asked for.
So that's the new thing into it then.
So then I said, you know what? Maybe I should look at this again and be a little more realistic. I'm going to put a goal that I think is obtainable. Can I raise $100 on Kickstarter to back Vince Falzone? Well, I think so. I believe so. It's not $3,500. Why would anybody want to invest in me? Well, go look at the history. I've got 10 records out since 1993. Now, the time doesn't mean much to me, but quite frankly, that's 20 years. So, okay, the guy's not fly by night. Secondly, I've got videos to back the stuff, even though, Dark Wolf is quick and to the point. It's kick-ass, I mean, I made sure that I made it so that it grabs your attention. You're in it. Your picture's in it. You wrote the lyrics.
I have seen it. Like I said, I've seen it on YouTube. Fantastic little video of it. And I mean, like I said, the comments are saying, brilliant, nice to hear classic rock. But a lot of your stuff, it's not just rock, is it? You got other stuff there. There's ballads in there. There's everything to do with everything, really.
Yeah, and for me, I grew up I was making fun of the Beatles, and John, Paul, Ringo, and George there. So I always wanted to be Paul McCartney, except for one caveat. I grew up listening to Ed and Hendrix and AC/DC, and these guys that can just run circles around George Harrison. However, if you fuse the two, that was my goal. I just didn't realize it until I got out here in LA, and I'm teaching kids guitar. They want to learn drop D. They want to play drop D, but they want to learn AC/DC. They want to learn Yes solos. They want to learn Zeppelin solos. I'm thinking, this hasn't changed. That's the shit I was playing when I was in high school. What do you want to learn here? They want to learn how to play.
So nothing new, really. It's same sort of style stuff.
Yeah, so they that time frame was just a mecca of music, but the fusion of the Zeppelin style into the McCartney writing plays with Ed on guitar never happened. But even if it did, nobody would care because we had all that. We have it all. We still have it. But if you drop D, which is what today they're doing, and you syncopate the song, and you put solos on top of it, and you bring back the 80s style, now I finally turned into an artist. You know, I mean, I have a lot of ballads, and you know, and I believe I did write the next Beatles song, but it's not straightforward for me. I don't just write all metal or all, you know, drop D. I mean, my records are like Paul McCartney. I love his format. Yeah, and if you listen to any record that he does, it's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I've got of your earlier stuff, one of your albums before, like Strip of Leather, is When I Wake Up. Right, it's such a sort of slow ballad, but you just listen to the words and it does grab you.
I appreciate that. See, I don't even think people pay attention over here. you know, that's what I love about you guys, is that you really take the time to dig into it, not just on the surface, but inside of it.
Yeah, well, the thing is like I said, music it goes from all genres. Even now with the late, like you're saying, with a lot of the latest modern rock bands now, but you can still get their influences going right back to early stuff like the blues and stuff like that, and it's still sort of intertwining into stuff now. You know, and
yes.
you've got I've got to be honest, a very unusual sound.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is as you develop it from, like, you become your idols. You realize at some point that, you know what, Paul McCartney is not the Paul McCartney that he was when I grew up. I mean, he's awesome, and he just put out another song, Kisses on the Bottle, that has everyone's attention. But, I mean, in all due respect, if he was out here in L.A. in a band and nobody knew he was Paul McCartney, it wouldn't fly any different than it is for me. So you realize that, hey, wait a minute, I can do this. You know, I'm not Paul McCartney, but all I need to do is be me and be the best me that I can be. So come up with the sound that really grabs, that makes me feel good, and play that, and just be honest and true to yourself. And that's really what I learned. I mean, I would love to be Paul McCartney, but I think given the chance, I'd rather still be me. As bizarre as that sounds, you know.
Oh, I bet. Get back now, like I said, to your latest album, your 10th album, Vortex. You got High Class, Last Call Girl on it. Spiral, Dark, with 10 tracks on it. This pledge thing with it now, all you need is what, I think it's something about another $80 or something like that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's right. I think, is it that? Did it go up again? Because last time I checked, it was $10.
Oh, I think it was about 20 when I looked earlier on. Something like that.
Wow. So, I mean, that's even a bit more. So I'm 80% of my goal.
So anyone out there, they can get through to this to pledge whatever they want. I think what's the minimum? About $1 in it or something like that?
Yeah, they tier it. So it's $1. I think the next is 10 and then 120 or something silly. It's really just to see if you can, if people will listen to my music. For me, it's more than that. But without the money and the project there, with the structure that it has, you're always, as an artist, saying, you know, I don't really care about the money and all that stuff, but you can't tour and you can't do anything else without it. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah, like I said, they can pledge music, like you're saying, is through Kickstart. It's Kickstart, isn't it? Then get on to and pledge music through that. We'll put a link up on our webpage here at BRFM, so, I mean, if anyone wants to go in, they can get onto our webpage here. They can then click on that link to go there. And, of course, if they want, they can pledge some money, a couple of dollars towards getting what are they going to be guaranteed on it? Through it. You're going to put the name on the cover, or you're going to release a little special one?
Here's what it is about. If you just want to support me, to help me continue on doing what I'm doing, get the name out there, you can go in as little as $1 and I'll send you a song. But if you want an autographed copy of Vortex, I think that's the next tier up. Then I'll autograph it and send it out. If you're overseas, there's, I think, a little bit more. And then if you want all of the catalog, I think that's the next tier. I'll autograph Vortex, the latest release, and give you the whole catalog. So it's all about what you're comfortable doing. You don't want to deal with having an autographed copy and you just want to support it, then great, that's just $1. if you want a little bit more, then that's what the tiers are about.
So the build up as they go along, then they can get all your back catalogue, all 10.
Yeah, and that would be over like 123 songs, and you would see the progression from when I was just doing everything MIDI wise, and starting off in '93 to I think the big shift started Without a Time, and then Strip of Leather was completely its own entity. And I thought after Strip of Leather, I said, that's it, I can't do any better than this. And then Dark Wolf came out, and really what started this record was my dog passed away, and it just broke my heart, man. And I just sat in my room and I was listening to Kilo Carrera, who's a fantastic Brazilian guitarist. I may not be pronouncing his name right. And I'm like, man, I just got to give this stuff a shot, especially as upset as I am. And I went after it, and that started it. And little by little, it came about. Dark Wolf, I really feel, is a great, great piece of material. When you do it as an artist, you kind of think, I'm done with it. But High Class Last Car Gore, you brought it up. A buddy of mine was dating a girl who's she thinks she's all high class, and she's the last one in the bar, and basically once she gets hammered, she's with whoever she can be with, and broke his heart. And actually he fell out of the back of a truck and he cracked his head open, and he can't smell anymore because of this relationship. So I took his situation and turned it into that. I tried to fuse 38 Special with AC/DC with his story that he wrote in his life, and turned it into High Class Last Car Girl. So, when I did that one, I thought, man, this was great. But I still think Dark Wolf is the best song on the record, rock-wise. Finest When Live is by far my best song, period. I've been playing a lot of spiritual centers, and it's a fantastic song. If you listen to it, just to show you, I got a guitar here. It's that's the Beatles piece.
So I got to say now, before you start now, Vince, everyone out there now listening in, this is literally live. This is Vince Falzone over there in America now. He's going to be bringing you a nice little acoustic version here. Carry on, Vince.
Yeah, give me a second while I tune, but I'll babble.
He's going to tune. Like I said, let's talk now. It's like Vortex's due out. 10 cracking tracks on there. High Class, Last Call Girl is on there. Spiral, Dark Wolf, loads more. You can get on to Kickstart to pledge your music towards him. There'll be a link up on BRFM.
Okay, it's close enough. So
he's ready. Take it away, Vince, man.
Okay, so there's a Beatles song that's like, right? You hear the melody in there?
We can, yeah.
That's Listen to My Love or something like that?
Well, I think I was in Liverpool, like, at the time. I think I'm back in Liverpool listening to that, like.
Yeah. So I was messing around with that, and then out came Finest When Live. Now you'll hear it a little bit. Okay, so then it just starts off. On this day, I must say my grace. Hear it now?
Wow.
So I put that one little piece in from the Beatles, and then it just carries out. For that I know this is my fate. Now it opens up. Life is finest when it is lived. So that's how it all fell about. I've been meaning to put a song together for spiritual centers. Then I have a section where it fuses into Zeppelin, and it does. And it just builds. And I hit a high note, and I'm like, wow! And then at the very end, we turn around and we go into Alice in Wonderland. So it's really, really a sweet piece, and I just love the song to death. But it all kicked off from this one Beatles memory. I hope you listen to her love. It's like that, and I'm like, man, that's been sitting inside my head ever since I listened to a Beatles song, and I never had any clue. I would just pull that one little segment out and turn it into a Zeppelin fusion into Alice in Wonderland, and all this wild, wild stuff. And so, that's what gets me going.
I gotta be honest, you'll have to email me through that track.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I've got, like I said, you emailed through High Class Last Call Girl to me, Spiral, and Dark Wolf. I have not got the album.
Oh, you know
yet.
why? Okay, yeah, I'll send that to you. I just figured you only want metal stuff. I didn't realize
No, I'll play anything on my show because I do a classic rock, and we got other guys here that'll play stuff as well throughout the days and that. So, there's a lot of stuff.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, like I said, is Overdrive has been Sad Eyes on there, fantastic little track again, lovely little ballad, and When I Wake Up, fantastic. Flood on that one as well. All the tracks on got me on Spiral is fantastic, and with the latest one now, Vortex, which is your pledge one, I know people are going to be in for a shock with it because the tracks on there are just amazing. Every song I've heard of yours has just been totally different each time.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, I can't even thank you enough for just saying that, but not only that, allowing me to be on the radio and talk to people. And I mean, like we said, this thing started with MySpace, and it's still going. I mean, you weren't doing radio interviews. I didn't meet you, come in contact with you because you were doing DJ or radio stuff. I just like, yeah, cool, man. You paid attention to Overdrive. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was me actually messaged you first off on MySpace.
Yeah, you did.
About asking you if you could do something with some poems and things like that. And you said, yeah, just send them along, and I thought, yeah, here we go. Going to send these off. He's just going to go, yeah, right, okay, fine. At the end of it, you turned around. I think you said to me as well is, you just sat there the one night and you just couldn't get to sleep because you just got it out, got Dark Wolf out, and you just went through it all. And I think you've done a fantastic job doing what you've done to it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't say it. This is arts and music is a journey that's well beyond words can explain. I mean, you touched me, I touched you. The Beatles touched everybody, and look what's coming from that. And that's all stemmed from your part of the neck of the woods. Liverpool. The world when the Nazis were trying to take over the world. It's just like that's what all that disaster turned into so much love. And we're talking about this stuff, and it's been. That was in the 60s, 40, 50 some odd years ago,
Oh, God,
It's just amazing.
Yeah. Like you say, Paul McCartney's still going now, but I don't think his stuff is like it used to be. You got Bowie back.
I'm really... That's true. I mean, when McCartney, I got to see him perform. He did a landmine benefit at the Beverly Wilshire. My neighbor worked across the street, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you in." I'm like, "Yeah, right." So, we're talking like we always talk, and next thing I know, the door opens and there's Paul McCartney, and I can see his fretboard. And then there's Paul Simon backing him up, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And I'm watching this guy, and I'm like, holy cow! And then I leave, and I'm just like speechless. And I'm standing next to Whoopi Goldberg and the other guy that was in some other movie, and out rolls my Mustang, right? And they're all looking at that, and I'm thinking, well, that's good. And my neighbor came out, and he says, well, what'd you think? I was like, jazzed completely. And he goes, why'd you drive the Mustang? I said, you only live once, man. But I'm so happy for McCartney because, that wasn't a good relationship for him. It was very obvious. He just wasn't himself.
Oh.
And now he's just like, he's back. He's like, he's got his life in balance. I'm just happy for him. And that song, I think this last record he put out, really showed everybody that, look, I'm still the master of all this stuff. Don't forget it.
Now, you're saying that you brought your Mustang out. Is that the one you're using in the video for Overdrive?
Say that again?
The Mustang. Is that the one you're using in Overdrive?
Yeah, that's my car. I rebuilt that. I didn't. My dad sold it before I can drive one when he had it, and then he passed away, and I ended up in California, and I didn't realize you can still buy those. So I bought it, and little by little, I bought it in '98. Over the years, I restored it, and now it's complete as far as I'm concerned because it's got the Vince Falzone image on the back of the car with the website on it, and it's just like it's just closure, and it's part of the art, really. So that's my car.
Apart from that, new tires, because the way you like burn the tires out in the video as well. So new tires, fresh. You're saying about websites now. Like I said, you've got a Facebook page. I don't know. Do you still use MySpace now or not?
Well, of course I do, because what it does is it drives traffic to my site, and what I found is that Facebook is legitimate as far as if people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. I mean, much more so than MySpace was. But MySpace, was a way to get yourself in front of a lot of people quickly, the right demographics as far as I was concerned back in the day. But Facebook is definitely much more a better place. They got more people there, but they're not going to let you abuse it like what happened with MySpace. So yes, I have a Facebook page.
And MySpace, and you've got your own web page as well. I know that much.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really, I'm happy I did that. It's musicbyvince.com, because that's the focal point for me. That's how I know if I'm getting traffic from MySpace. That's how I know if I'm getting traffic from Facebook. And it kind of lets me know, is any of the stuff that I'm doing, is it effective at all? I mean, what should I be doing or not doing? But MySpace, definitely I get the most traffic from them over to my site. And Facebook is the best way to gauge how new people are coming about. Are they finding me? Do they talk about it or whatever? And so that led to Kickstarter, which is, my friend told me about it. And I think that if people find me or start to go to Kickstarter, they'll talk about my material and it'll help. I mean, there's no real one answer to it. It's just like something that you fuel with passion, and you just keep going until you can't live anymore.
Well, yeah, like I said, you only want $100. You're not asking for thousands and 100,000 or whatever. It's just $100 to pledge towards yourself, your artist, which, like you said, is they can get a autograph, CD, copied autograph. A further step up the line, they can get the whole back catalogue of all 10 albums, right from the very start, right through to the latest one, which again is Vortex.
Yeah, I think it's really realistic. It's reasonable. I really think that it's a great deal. I don't know. I mean, nobody's making any money here.
I think that's a good deal, because they're getting all your albums, and they're also getting an autograph as well. That's the main thing. They can get that. What about tours for the US? You got any tours coming up over there?
Well, I've been playing at a lot of spiritual centers the last couple of years. I have a gig doing one of those on the day before my dad's birthday. Then I'm also in a group called Sons of Defiance, which is a pure metal group, and it's the drummer that performed on Finest When Lived. He's been my percussionist for all these stuff that we've been doing at spiritual centers. Well, in the process, he decided he wanted to write songs, and now he's writing songs. This is really bizarre as a drummer. I mean, the songs on the guitar that I'm playing like literally percussion pieces. But then he comes from old school. He wants some radical solo. So I did some stuff for him just to get him going. And, I didn't think much about it. And now he's out playing. We're playing the Viper Room. We played the Viper Room twice. But then I'm going to Shanghai this year in June. And I'm going to be doing some stuff over there. So I don't have like an organized tour, because I don't have the revenue or the venues or the draw that warrants that. But little by little, it's coming together at my own level. So that's why the amounts are what they are. I mean, seriously, it's nothing that I'm asking for cash-wise. But if it can build up, then I have revenue to put together a tour and get a roadie and, tour manager and the whole thing. And, it's got to be balanced. You don't just show up at the biggest stage in the world and then play. Nobody's going to be there.
Well, that's it. You should start out on the smaller stages, work your way up. Get it?
Yes.
Be nice to be supporting someone, even if it's a support, opening act for somebody. It's that start out at the end of it. But you said you've been over to, you were saying before you've been over to the UK, played at one of the festivals here before, I believe.
Yeah, I played at the Whittick Music Festival, which is one of I think it's in Lincolnshire. I can't pronounce these words. And it was the first festival they did in 2000, I want to say 2008 or 2006, somewhere in there. There's a photo on my website, and it was the best fun that I've ever had. I just show up with a guitar, right? The one that, there's photos of it, the hollow body Les Paul. And I had the pedal, and we just get done recording Overdrive, right? So it had to have been, that record was released 2008, so it's probably 2007. And the speed metal guy, Bob Spears, said, I want you to have this recording before you go. I'm like, okay. So we get there, and they're like, okay, Vince, you're going to go on at this time. And I'm like, okay, so who are you going to pair me up with? Right? Because I'm just by myself. I need to know so we can rehearse. They're like, don't worry about it. And I'm like starting to get nervous. I'm like, well, we got to rehearse at least once, you know. And they're laughing and they go, guess what? A band that was supposed to go behind you, they ain't showing, so you get an extra 15 minutes. I'm like, fantastic. They're like, if you don't want to do it, don't worry. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. Who's your best drummer? Who's your best bass player? Whatever. And they're like laughing and laughing. So I get up there, and they didn't expect, you know, it to go down the way it did. It went over really well, but Overdrive has a really syncopated change in it, which I couldn't do on stage. So I just kind of pulled it out on the fly. And they liked it because their bass player, they thought was really good, I caught him off guard when we went a half step up instead of going down a standard tradition. So it was a great event for me. You know, of course, I would much rather rehearse it, know what we're going to do ahead of time and all that stuff. But I just loved doing it. You know, and so to me, that was like one of the best gigs I've ever done on the fly.
I was going to say, I suppose that's different though, because normally you would bring your own, like you said, is your own bass player, your own drummer over with you, so that they know exactly what's being played. And when you just turn up somewhere to play a festival and it's just yourself, and you've been given a bass player and a drummer, they're probably thinking, hell, what do we do now? What are we playing? Right,
exactly. And they were happy because it was a sunny day, and the festival was outside. I was happy because I was able to be a part of it, and nervous. And I think that whole nervousness and tension translated well because the musicians really were talented. The songs were good. Can it be a lot better? Oh, hell yeah. But that costs money. You know, that's what you find out. If you perform, the last thing you need to be doing is worrying about the equipment getting there and set up. You know, if you're doing that, then you're not ready to perform. If you're worried about the audience coming in and checking in and where they're going to sit and how many things that they need to be comfortable, you're not ready to perform. You know, you can only be so comfortable, but if it's going to be done right, it's going to require a whole crew of people to do it. You know this. I mean, I come from LA where it's just hard to get anything done. And over in your area, people really do it. You know, I mean, it's just like they listen, they help each other, they appreciate the music. It's totally different. You know, I just don't know how to say it.
Oh, and I know what you're saying. I mean, I've been down, like I said, to a few gigs to do interviews, and I've been there early enough to catch them getting everything set up before sound check. And then listening to them all doing a sound check and how much work goes into just get that sound for the main band. And then all of a sudden you've got the support band coming on to do their sound check, and you think, everything's going to be altered now and changed. So it's like, oh, well, but then when you get the two bands, like you're saying, the main band and the support band, and they just get on, they just jam together during a sound check, you think, how the devil do you guys do this? You know, I can't figure out how they do it. Like I said, I find that really hard. And like being just like here on your own doing a gig or one-off show, and then you got back in some other band coming in, and they're there and they seem to know exactly what you want. That's got to be the hardest thing.
You know, because that's the easy part for the musician. You can look out there and go, let's put some intensity here, and you got some structure about how you're going to do it, but that's not stressful for us. What's stressful for us is like, you know, is this sound guy going to be here? Is the mic going to be where it's supposed to be? You know, is the band going to show up? You know, after that, it's all downhill. If all that stuff's in place, the audience is out there, the sound check's been done, you know, the band shows up, we're ready to rock and roll. You know, we're happy.
That's the main thing. What's the next thing on the plans for you now? Because like I said, with Vortex now, with it's there, it's ready, they can pledge for it. What's the next plan for yourself now?
Well, the next thing for me really is I got a manager for the acting stuff that I've been doing, and I've been finding that it's all the same thing, meaning J-Lo came up in a conversation when I was on set, and they tried to pin me down and say, hey, what is she? And I'm like, she's an entertainer.
Well,
you know, and so I feel that anything that I can do to shine light on Vince Falzone helps all of it. You know, not just music, not just playing, not just being in front of a camera, not just talking, just all of it. So I'm excited to have a manager because she's going after stuff for me that actually has dollars associated with it. And out here in LA, the money is in Hollywood's hands. $300 million to do Iron Man. I mean, they don't care if they give you $5,000 for the song, but for that, a soundtrack or for one song, plus you're getting royalties. The question is, how are you going to get it there?
Well, yeah.
They don't know Vince Falzone from anybody. So, but if I'm on camera, and a lot of actors, good actors, are musicians, I'm finding out.
So,
and it's that. So you asked what's on the horizon for me. Well, I'm doing this tour in Shanghai. I'm going to be playing the Viper Room release party with Sons of Defiance. I'm going to be playing the day before my father's birthday at a spiritual center, and I'm hoping to get some speaking lines and better parts in the film industry over here, so that I can do more of these interviews and I can shine a light on Vince Falzone and go, look, man, and get him to buy the song for Dark Wolf that you actually wrote, man. And it's just like, I just want to keep going until I get something more out of it than get what I wanted. What do I want, man? I just want to keep doing this for real. That's it.
You need to be taking over Jay Leno's place and sitting in that chair and doing interviews.
Could you imagine that?
That's what you want to be doing. Instead of Jay Leno show, the Vince Falzone show. See, it's got a better ring to it, see? It's got a better ring to it.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, then we could just have a party on TV and go from nobody, it's just like no start time, no end time. We just jam and BS and do whatever.
Exactly. All you got to do is just take your acoustic there or have an amp plugged in, ready, and just say, right, okay, let's go for it and enjoy it. That's what you got to do.
Well, yeah, what I want to do, this is completely improv, right? My dog is sitting here, the replacement for my buddy Max. I just want to leave you with a little bit of, and I haven't rehearsed it, a little bit of Spyro, if you're okay with that.
Carry on, Vince.
Okay, well, again, try to support Vince Falzone by going to his website and clicking on that Kickstarter thing, but this is what it's about.
That's just unbelievable, man. I gotta be honest, that is unbelievable. Live from the US of A, Vince Falzone. Acoustic version for you all. What more did anybody want? Fantastic. But they can get hold of, like I said, is if they want to pledge music, it is Kickstart, Pledge Music, Vince Falzone. They can find you on there and pledge anything from $1 up to $100 if they want to.
Yeah, and just to finish off this storytelling of mine, is when I performed that, I said I wasn't going to record another record. When I got done playing that, I said I'm never going to, it's too hard, it's too technical for me to play live. I think it was like over my head. But I was so intense and angry about loss of my dog that I said, that's the time to do it. Then you go back to it and you go, I got to play that? I got to play that? So I did, and I'm proud of that. So that's the development of an artist, and I just hope people like it, really. Oh,
that is just fantastic, I'll be honest, is to get a just off-the-cuff acoustic version there from yourself, all the way from the US of A, like instead sitting there in LA and just enjoying it. That's the main thing. You can tell that from your voice that you just enjoy doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud that I played it. There's probably a couple little mistakes in there, but I just that was what it was about. When my dog left me, it was my best friend, and it hurt like hell. But the dog that's sitting down here now, I know that if he used to lay on the ground and I'd be working out listening to music, this dog is laying on the ground and he's showing me that, yeah, we get it, we feel you, and we're here for you. So to me, that's what art and entertainment's about. It's about getting through to another person that we're all on the same planet. Yeah. And we all feel the same things. Argo, Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf is lyrically, it's serious stuff, man. I mean, that's about your son, and it's
it
about.
Was like I said, Dark Wolf for me is when I sat there and I did all these poems and things like that. They were just short little poems, and I thought I really would like to have something done about it, something that I could have not just down on writing, but something that my son can listen to later on, and because paper just gets lost and ruined and things like that. And when you say, like I said, is when I sent it to you and you went, no worries at all, leave it with me, I'm going to have to change a few things round on it, carry on, sort it. And then when you come back with that, and I think you did about 3 takes on it or something like that, 3 different versions.
Well, what you do is, first I didn't want you to be, as an artist, you never let anybody proof it until you're happy with it yourself. So the 3 takes that I'm talking about is you sing it 3 times and you take the best nuances of the 3, and you got to sift through it. And there may be certain things you want to punch in, but I'm against punching in. Like the song I just played. When I record it, I want to record it from start to finish. I don't want to do click tracks. If it goes in and out of timing relative to a click track. If you can't carry it out, you can't play it yourself. What are you doing with the click track? So if you can't sing the track from start to finish, and it takes more than 3 times to get a good vocal line, then in my opinion, you don't belong behind the mic. I'm sorry, because you're going to have to get on stage, and nobody's going to be, your auto-tune's only going to take you so far. If you can't deliver emotion, and you only got 1 shot to do it, do you belong on stage? So, the 3 tracks that I meant is I recorded the vocals 3 times, and I took what I thought intensity was right for the song. But I had already lined up that song and got it the way I wanted. And, like I said, I'd lay on the floor in the middle of the night and just look at the ceiling and have it turned really low to hear the kind of things that I wanted to hear. And then finally, when I said, I'm done, there's nothing else I can do to make this any better, then I sent it off to you, So I only hope that that you, when I did that you'd like it. That was my only thing. I didn't want to get you to kind of know where it was going until it was done.
Oh, I tell you what, I have got it down as my ringtone on my phone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got one of these BlackBerry phones, and I emailed it through. I got it onto an MP. It comes through on email. Download it onto the phone. I've now set it up as my ringtone on the phone. So as soon as my phone rings, that comes up, and I just don't want to answer it. Really, I just want to sit there and listen to that. You got to look at it and go, "Oh, better answer it. It's my son."
Yeah, what's better, the song or the phone call? It should be the person on the other end actually should have priority. But.
Yeah, I know. It depends, because I look at it and go, oh, look, it's my son ringing me. I better answer this one now.
How old is your son now?
He's 17.
Wow.
17 years of age. He's actually started college and he's doing an electrical engineering course. Really proud of him.
That's the degree I have.
Yeah, he's doing a course on that. So I know where to send him now when he finishes his course over to LE. He can help you out. But yeah, he's doing really well, actually. He's really doing well. I've got to ask, is that your daughter in the video with the Dark Wolf one?
Yeah, that is. And, that's when you start to see people's viciousness. I seen some comments up there like, what are you doing in the woods with that little girl? I'm like,
just
okay,
listen
whatever.
To the words.
Yeah. We're shooting a video for a song, and she's my daughter, and it just works. But it's just interesting what people think and perceive when they don't really quite get inside of it and dig around. I mean, that's my daughter though, and so good comments are like, "Is that your sister?" I'm like liking that one.
Is that filmed just outside the back door there now from where you live in?
It was filmed, part of it was in Houston, Texas at a park, and part of it was, the Dark Wolf part is behind my house, where we actually stumbled across 3 dead coyotes that for some odd reason were nothing but skeletons left that I put on my body when I shot that. So I scouted the areas. I kind of knew because I lived in Texas for a year. And I go around in the hills over here where I'm at. So I had scouted it, and then I just got done working with Ben Affleck. So that's, I knew it was going to fall together properly. And those pictures I grabbed of you, I pulled from MySpace, because I was like, I got to get Angel in here. And, there were some fantastic shots of you that just screamed Dark Wolf. I'm like, yeah, this one and this one. And
yeah, there's some quite crazy ones on there.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. Like I said, I'm proud of the video. I'm proud of the song. I'm glad I got to meet you. And the dog that's holding in there is the transition dog. We don't have him anymore because he kept peeing in the house everywhere. And so we got a one that fits in. I mean, I didn't realize 3 years had passed that this dog, he peed on my cable snake. I'm doing recordings. I'm trying to figure out why Channel 1 is losing signal. I go down there to find that the dog pissed inside of Channel 1, inside a little hole, and it corroded down inside of the contact. So that's why Channel 1's not working.
Oh.
And then he pees on my piano, so that was the end of that,
Oh, well, that's not on, is it? Just peeing on the piano's not a good thing at all. It's nothing you want to know about. Vince, I'm going to have to let you go because I'm going to be out of here now myself in about another 10 minutes. I am shooting off home to sit down, chill out, and relax. Have you got anything planned for the rest of the afternoon?
I'm going to drink a beer.
I tell you what, that sounds like a good idea. I might do that myself when I get home. I tell you that now. I'm going to do that when I get home. I've got a couple of tracks lined up here. I had Spiral lined up, but I don't think I'll even bother playing that one now. Since you just gave us a nice acoustic version of that. I have got When I Wake Up. I've got that on here lined up to play. Dark Wolf. And I got the course High Class Last Call Girl. You can tell the AC/DC influence in that.
Sounds good. I'll be sending you the other song, Finest When Lived, and I really, really appreciate you allowing me to be on the show and want to thank the listeners out there for their support and for just carrying on the torch for music in general. I mean, without audience and listeners and musicians, this thing just comes to a complete halt.
It does. And like I said, you got your Vince Falzone Facebook page, you got your rock music one, you've got the pledge on Kickstart, Vince Falzone, YouTube page, Vince Falzone, YouTube, or, just put Dark Wolf, Vince Falzone, it'll come up on YouTube. And it'll come up with all the other ones. Overdrive, all the other videos, YouTube videos that are on there as well. And if you're lucky enough, you can email him and say that you want a copy of his CD, and he'll let you know how much it is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. Because you got to get hold of some of Vince's stuff, get it over in the UK. I'll be playing a couple more tracks on it. I'll wait for the new one to come through. As soon as I get that, I'll be playing that one as well. I'm looking forward to listening to the full electrical version of that one. Vince is going to go off and chill out and relax now with a beer in his hand. I bet you're sat in the sun, aren't you?
Sounds good, guys.
It is. Vince Falzone, I got to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. I'll catch you now on Skype when we finish. But this is, of course, going to be High Class Last Call Girl, coming off, of course, the Vortex album. So get yourselves out there to pledge for this one, guys.